Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
Welcome on into Wednesday, 9:02. That's the time on this 24th day of April. CJ Naselowitz, our daily show. And man, I don't know about you, I feel like someone ran me over with a bus the last 2 days. I am just slowly but surely starting to wake up, and I've been up since like 4:45. But I got you and three great guests that are going to get me full of energy here for the next 2 hours as we're going to be talking to Centerstone. In just about 18 minutes or so, we're going to be learning about their fellowship house and that program and how beneficial it is with our continued coverage of our conversations with Centerstone and learning about the resources that are available in our region, maybe before we need to know them, and then around 10:10, we're going to be talking to Eric Vickery. He has a new book out called Runnin Redbirds, and it's about the 1982 Cardinals, which so many of you are going to be interested in learning about. Eric will be filling us in on the book and ways that we can get our hands on a copy and even meet with Eric coming up in just a couple of days at Jacoby Arts Center. Then at 10:35, we are talking to Steve Pegram, and we are learning all the latest on Got Faith. Got Faith has had a really good year, and they have their Got Faith week coming up in a proclamation. Steve's going to fill us in on all of that good stuff and so much more. But at 9:02, here's what's happening around the Riverbend. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update, and you'll never miss out. You can join myself and 70,000 people that are in the know each and every day of the work week and on Saturdays with Around the Riverbend. We'll start off our morning with a multi-vehicle crash that involved a school bus in Edwardsville, and it left 2 injured. Illinois State Police Troop 8 responded to a multi-vehicle accident on Monday, April the 22nd, at around 3:01 p.m. The crash occurred at the intersection of Illinois Route 159 and Tranquility Ridge Road in Madison County. Involved in the collision were 2 passenger vehicles and a fully occupied bus. Fortunately, no injuries were reported from the school bus. However, the driver and a passenger from one of the vehicles, a black Acura, sustained injuries, and they were taken to a local hospital. The occupants of a second vehicle, a white GMC, were unharmed. Further details are pending an investigation. The Collinsville police announced yesterday, April the 23rd, that 23-year-old Corey Nichols, previously reported missing since March the 16th, has been found safe and has reunited with his family. Nichols, who was last seen wearing a reflective coat, was located after more than a month of intensive searches. The local community and the Nichols family have expressed their relief and their gratitude towards the law enforcement agencies for their persistent efforts in ensuring his safe return. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain undisclosed at this time. Multiple incidents of criminal property damage have been reported across Madison County. Several criminal property damage cases have emerged throughout the county, impacting various properties, including vehicles, church doors, and gaming machines. Rashawn D. Gaston Anderson, 25, faces 4 felony charges for damaging 4 vehicles. Tobias Morissette, 23, has been charged with damaging a church glass door and a truck, with while Matthew A. Piper, 23, is accused of twice damaging a resident's window. Furthermore, Travis R. Griffith, 35, and Brian Irving, 36, are both facing charges related to damage at the Gateway Sand Plant and possession of burglary tools. Benjamin Harrison, 33, allegedly damaged a gaming machine. All individuals are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The Edwardsville Police Department did announce today that 4 burglaries occurred on Saturday, April the 20th, in the Essex area of Edwardsville. The incidents involved unlocked vehicles, for which items including a handgun, cash, and debit cards, and other miscellaneous items were stolen. In one case, a vehicle itself was stolen. The police currently have no suspects and are urging residents to secure their vehicles and their valuables. They are also encouraging anyone with information or who notices suspicious activities to contact the Investigations Division at 656-2131 to help resolve these cases. The Edwardsville Community Unit School District Number 7 is gearing up for the 2024-25 academic year, as so many other districts are doing the same. However, Edwardsville has introduced 5 new administrators confirmed by the District 7 Board of Education on April the 22nd. The additions include Dr. Alan Duncan as Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Brian Lane as Director of Human Resources, Miss Dana Bivens as Principal of Warden Elementary School, Miss Laura Rogers as Principal of Glen Carbon Elementary, and Miss Tisha Lenore as Curriculum Coordinator. They are set to start their roles July 1. These appointments come as part of the district's ongoing efforts to enhance educational leadership and improve student outcomes. Each administrator brings a wealth of experience and a proven track record of success in their respective fields, poised to contribute significantly to the district's mission of providing outstanding education. Also in the news today, back here to Alton Mayor David Goins is feeling grateful as the basement fire self-extinguished in his home, preventing major damage. Alton Mayor David Goins and his wife Sheila expressed a relief after a fire at their home on Judson Avenue. It was rapidly extinguished on April the 22nd. The fire, which began in the basement, caused some water pipes to melt and subsequently doused the flames before the arrival of fire services. Mayor Goins, who discovered the fire upon entering his home, described the experience as, quote, scary, end quote. Thankfully, the water from the broken pipes drained away, avoiding any flooding. Reflecting on the incident, Mayor Goins emphasized the fortunate outcomes, noting that it could have been significantly worse if the pipes had been metal, which would have prevented them from melting and having the water come down and put out the blaze itself. Also in the news today, on the 20th of April, a traffic incident occurred south of Litchfield on Interstate 55, and it involved an Illinois State Police squad car. It was hit by a motorist. The Illinois State Police trooper was handling a previous crash with his emergency lights activated when a white Toyota driven by a 76-year-old Fred J. Stewart of Springfield struck the parked squad car. Remarkably, neither the trooper nor Stewart were injured. Stewart was cited for failing to yield to a stationary emergency vehicle and failing to reduce speed. This year, ISP has already reported 13 move-over law-related crashes. The public is reminded that violating the move-over law can result in hefty fines and, if injuries occur, a suspension of your driver's license. In local sports, on the 22nd of April, just 2 days ago, Civic Memorial freshman Sarah Ryder made an unforgettable mark by clinching 4 first-place finishes at the Madison County Small Schools Girls Track and Field Championships held at CM. The event also saw the Father McGivney girls team excelling, securing the championship with 140 points. Host team CM followed with 111 points, and Marquette Catholic took 3rd place. Standout individual performances included Lily Gilbertson and Mackenzie Jones of McGivney, who triumphed in their respective races. The meet concluded with an impressive wins in relay races and field events, highlighting the fierce competition among the participating schools. The historic USS Missouri main deck restoration is finally completed after 14 years, and we have the latest. The battleship Missouri Memorial in Pearl Harbor has successfully completed a 14-year restoration project of the main deck on the USS Missouri, a key piece of American naval history. Mike Carr, president and CEO, marked the event by laying the final teak plank. This extensive project, initiated after the ship's 2010 dry dock, restored over 48,000 square feet of teak decking, essentially for the ship's safety and historical integrity. The teak deck, significant for hosting the formal end of World War II with Japan's surrender, required over 68,000 man-hours and $6.2 million in investment, with substantial support from Missouri state's government and numerous volunteers. The restoration ensures the battleship Missouri continues to symbolize American resilience and democratic values. The memorial, attracting millions since 1999, and when it opened, stands near the USS Arizona Memorial, providing visitors a profound narrative from the start of America's involvement in World War II until its conclusion. Finally, in the news today, on Tuesday, the Glen Carbon Village Board agreed to a $29,000 amendment with WHKS & Co. concerning the water treatment plant project aimed at integrating solar power solutions. Now, this decision, from a meeting on April the 24th, sought to expand WHKS's role to include the assessment and design of a solar power system at the new treatment site. Scott Slimmer, the Public Works Director, highlighted an expected payback period of 5 to 6 years. The project, will encompass various tasks such as elevating potential solar array sites, sizing the arrays to match the plant's electrical load, and exploring funding options through grants and tax incentives. Additionally, WHKS will aid in estimating construction along with maintenance costs, reviewing contractor bids, and finalizing the solar array design. Notably, the amendment excludes any solar designs for the proposed Wellfield site due to space constraints. We'll keep you updated on more of those details as they emerge. That's what's happening around the River Bend, but let's take a look at weather. It's going to be nice out there today. A high of 67 degrees awaits us, and we have a mostly sunny morning and partly cloudy and a little bit chillier evening ahead of us. Temperatures right now are 54 degrees. However, it feels like 64 out there. How about that? Take that any day of the week. On Thursday, a high of 65, a low of 53 on Friday. We're getting some thunderstorms. They're calling for a 99% chance of thunderstorms on Friday. A high of 72 degrees, a low of 65 on Saturday, the 27th of April. A high of 78 degrees, a low of 68 degrees. And on Sunday, it's going to be storming all throughout the day. 92% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 77, a low of 62. You can get time and temperature throughout the day by giving this phone number a ring, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Bounce Back, Rehab, Recover, and Return Home at Bounce Back. And for more information on Bounce Back and the great villas at Liberty Village, those villas are brand new and beautiful. They await you, and you can find out more information by going to Liberty Village's website and learning more about their villas and the Bounce Back Rehab program today. Before we take you to Skycam, let me fill you in a little bit more on Alton Little Theater. We're going to be talking to Lee Cox tomorrow morning for our last segment of Theater Thursday for just the month of April. We're going to be talking to Lee Cox for quite a long time because Alton Little Theater is really the gemstone of our community, one of the many that the Alton region has, but also it's a gem for the 618. You know, folks in Edwardsville right now, can you hear me? Folks in Granite, can you hear me? Folks in St. Charles, Missouri, where you watch sometimes, can you hear me? Listen, we have a really, really cool Little Theater showplace that for over 90 years has been the staple of entertainment in the region, bringing in some of the best performers from the area. Some of them even have been on the Muni stages and bigger stages in the St. Louis market, and they come over here and provide us with a couple of hours of entertainment, but most importantly, escape. I mean, think about it. You turn on the news today, I turn on the news today, and we turn it off in 5 seconds because it's depressing. There's a lot going on. What are we going to do to stop or solve the problem? You know, when you go to Alton Little Theater, all those worries kind of go away. You're just immersed in a great performance with great local performers and a dedicated cast and crew, directors, you name it. Alton Little Theater celebrated its 90th year this year, and now they're gearing up for their 91st, and you're invited with a special season ticket discount if you get your season tickets early and become that early bird recipient. You can get more information on Singing in the Rain, which takes place in just a few short weeks at altonlittletheater.org, or just call the box office at 618-462-3205. That's 618-462-3205. And once you do get them on the phone, you ask them about the 91st season, you purchase your season tickets, and don't forget to tell them that CJ sent you their way. We'll take a quick break, but let's send you down to downtown Alton. We'll come back with Centerstone right after this.
It's a terrible thing to lose. It's a given thing. What a terrible thing to lose.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone. And over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey Sherry, talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got showing.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Before we talk to Deanna with Centerstone, I do have to fill you in because I forgot to do some of my job. I forgot to tell you how you can get your tickets to Alton Little Theater and what's coming down the pipeline. And thank you for calling me out on the text line, rightfully so. You can get more ticket information for Singing in the Rain. That's the next show that's coming up in just 2 weeks. You go to altonlittletheater.org, you get your tickets. But their next show is that Disney tribute. Following that is Oliver, which is going to be a fantastic play. And on April the 28th, they're looking for you to bring your little ones, if they want to be a part of it, to assume one of those roles. Diana Shields, am I saying this right, Diana? I feel like I'm...
It's Diana.
Diana Shields is with Centerstone's Fellowship House. Diana, I haven't had that rough of an intro in a long time. How are we doing this morning?
We're doing good. Thank you for asking.
Well, and thank you so much for your time. We really do value our conversations with Centerstone because this is information for the public to know before, we really need to know it when the situation gets too tough. And right off the bat, Diana, can you take me through the fellowship house just as an overview and some of the services you provide?
Yeah, of course. We actually provide three different stages or levels of care here at Fellowship House. We provide withdrawal management services, which is also known as detox services, and that's considered a level 3.7. Um, we have that service for adult men and women. Then we also have a residential program, which is the level 3.5. Um, for men, adult men only, so 18 years or older for adult men, and that stay usually is about 28 days. And then we have a level 1 basic outpatient program that is for adult men, women, and youth. The detox program, like I said, which is level 3.7, is usually anywhere from 3 to 5 days, depending on the substance that they were using, how long they've been using, any comorbid, physical issues that they might have when they come in, or any mental health issues that need to be addressed. So we try to take a look at the whole person when we admit somebody to our services and do what we can to address all of those things. We do require that everybody that comes in completes a medical screening with our nursing staff, and then a complete physical with either our nurse practitioner or a medical director. And that's kind of the determining factor of whether they can be actually admitted to the program. We want to make sure they're medically stable enough to be here.
And Diana, not to cut you off there, but just to follow up on that very important topic of having those screenings, how many times, and not to ballpark it, but I could only imagine that more times than not, an individual is coming in that's maybe thinking, well, I'm just going in for the detox, or I'm going in for this, but they don't realize after the screenings that they could have maybe some very serious ailments or some things that they're dealing with. Do you guys come across that pretty often whenever you're doing these screenings and informing them, hey, we have to work on some health things first before we can tackle this?
It's not often that it's that we find something new necessarily, but something that they have been neglecting. So we want to do what we can to get them back on track with medications, or, we want to do updated lab work. And one of the things that has been very beneficial to our program is we now have a nurse practitioner that is on staff here. So she actually completed an interview with you previously.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's our nurse practitioner, and she is on staff here all the and on call. So we not only have a medical director, but we have a nurse practitioner now. So that's been very helpful in our attempts at being more thorough, at addressing any physical challenges that might go along with the addiction. So that we can, like I said, we'd like to try and treat the whole person.
Well, and I think without doing that, you're only, if let's say you threw out all those other situations and you just said, well, we still have to treat, you aren't tackling those very important core, whether it's mental health or maybe it's a little bit of a medication issue. If you don't tackle those, you aren't able to really fulfill that client's need and really that longevity and sustainability of their life. Is that kind of correct too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do have a lot of people, that have had some type of illness or injury, and that's possibly where their addiction started because of the use of pain medication.
Yeah.
So if we don't address that and give them alternative ways to, try and treat their pain or treat their, their outlook on their physical well-being, then, it's hard to just treat one thing and not the whole thing.
Exactly. Well, and how many, is that pretty frequent that happens with some of the individuals that do come in the doors? Just my curiosity, because I can see that so many times that being the case where someone goes, hey, I got to take care of maybe tackling some of the
Sure.
drinking issues I have, but I can't tackle this other one yet because I need this to get through this first hurdle. Is that a similar conversation?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, we have people that come in from all walks of life. And that's to all of our programs, some people come in and they are involved with the legal system. They're involved with DCFS. They're involved, with their employer requiring them to come get treatment. So we get people from all walks of life here. And so, we have people, of course, like I said, that have been using since they were very young. We have people that have potentially started using at an older age because, like I said, of an injury or an illness that the use of pain medication or something like that led to the issue of addiction and substance misuse.
And Diana, as we keep moving forward, you already kind of touched on this a little bit during your overview, but could you describe the medically monitored detoxification program and a little bit more of what it involves and just some more detail on that program?
Sure, sure. Like I said, it is for adult men and women both. We take a look at um, when they come into treatment, what their referral source is. So we make sure that all of their community entities that they're involved with stay informed as long as they give us permission to do that. Of course, because of the HIPAA laws, we have to be careful of that and have them sign all the necessary paperwork to release that information. But we try to make sure that referral sources stay informed. We try to make sure that not only their, like I said, the physical withdrawal is addressed through, we have standing orders of medications that we can give to help with the symptoms of withdrawal. As you know, those can be quite uncomfortable depending on what the substance is that they are withdrawing from and the length of time they've been using and the quantity they've been using. And also, different things play into that, the age, like I said, comorbid, conditions as far as their physical well-being, that also plays a part in how their withdrawal goes. So we do like to try and keep them comfortable, as comfortable as possible. So that's kind of how we treat the physical part. We also have recovery engagement specialists on staff that have their own lived experience and are now in recovery themselves. So we have that as a part of the withdrawal management program so that they can touch base. They meet with each person in our detox program and they talk about what their goal is, what kind of aftercare or resources we can hook them up with after they complete our detox program. And we have found that that's been very beneficial too. It really does have an effect on people staying in detox because they have somebody they can talk with that has been there, and understands what they're going through.
Well, and Diana, as I've been speaking with so many of your folks over at Centerstone, we've been talking about how important and how invaluable their role is in this because it's pretty easy for a patient or client to say, you know what, you haven't lived this, you haven't been down this road, and it stops so much building. But whenever you're able to walk side by side with somebody who walked the same path or a similar path as you, and you're kind of going through this, to have that shoulder and to have those conversations of, man, this is day 5 of going through this withdrawal, and I don't know what I can do. Like, I can't get through this.
Right.
To have that shoulder, I could only imagine how enlightened those individuals are.
Right. Well, and to give you a little bit more detail about just kind of our overall the program and the staff that we have here, we have, like I said, we do have the recovery engagement specialists. We have staff on the floor that consists of behavioral health technicians, EMTs, LPNs, RNs. We have the nurse practitioner, and then we have counselors. We have intake clinicians, operations specialists, and then we have billing staff. And then myself, I manage the facility. So we have a very broad range, and we have a very large number of staff who are currently, like I said, in recovery themselves. We have counselors that are in recovery. We have some of our floor staff are in recovery themselves. But we also have I feel like we have a good balance here at Fellowship House of people that have lengthy careers in the field with their education. We have bachelor's and master's levels people here, in addition to the people that have the lived experience. So I feel like we have a really good balance of that. And so one of the things I say to clients sometimes when they do run into that, well, you don't understand, you haven't experienced this. And I kind of remind them, I'm like, well, when you go to the doctor, do you require your doctor to have everything that you've had to treat you? So, that's kind of one of those, it's a good balance. You get different perspectives of things because I think you get a really good you get really good feedback, obviously, from somebody that's lived it and has been through it and has worked the steps or worked some type of other recovery program. And then you get the piece from a person that has, maybe been a family member
Yep.
of somebody that struggled with it, or you have somebody that, is living what we would consider a healthy lifestyle. So why would you not want to learn from that person on
Right.
how to do that? I feel like we have a good balance of that here at Fellowship House.
That's really good to know. And Diana, that's a great point too about some of the loved ones, the supporters of the individuals that are going through these programs, because so many times I'm sure that they're maybe a little bit nervous about it too. They're just wanting to make sure that our loved ones doing well. What are some of those conversations like with maybe some of the loved ones of the individuals inside the fellowship house? Do you guys? I'm sure there's always a line of communication at times whenever it's wanted.
There is, and we try to provide some education about, the disease concept of addiction and what withdrawal will look like, what early stages of recovery look like, what's necessary for them to be successful, and how the family members can support that. We have a lot of conversations with family members around what they call enabling behaviors, and how to draw those lines and maintain healthy boundaries to also protect their well-being, and to in turn encourage their loved one to continue on the path of recovery, because it's not an easy path.
Right. Well, and that's one thing too that we always try to highlight here is it takes a team, and just like your guys' very diverse team over at the Fellowship House and all throughout Centerstone, to be able to keep everyone in the loop, and really just keep everyone informed, educated, to really make sure that we're all taking the best path forward, because to me it's a team project. It can't be one individual's journey. There's a bunch of folks that are kind of a
Yeah, for
part of it.
sure.
And
Most definitely.
Diana, we were talking a little bit earlier about the residential rehabilitations program, and if you could take me through what makes it unique, maybe some of the different things that you guys do with your program that maybe aren't tried, as many times throughout other programs.
So one of the things, like I said, that I do think makes us unique, or maybe not unique's not the right word, but I think it makes us a really great program, is that balance of the
Yeah.
staff that we have. Another thing is our location. We have a beautiful location in Southern Illinois. We are very fortunate to have um, the ground that we have,
Right.
the physical, you know, it's beautiful down here. We have out back, we've got an open field where we have a volleyball net, we've got disc golf, we have a walking path, we have a pavilion where they can sit and relax and enjoy each other's company. We even run groups out there sometimes if the weather's nice and we just want to be outside. So we have a lot of outdoor chairs, just outdoor activities. We've got ladder golf and bags, games, things like that that they can do to enjoy the outside. And
That's
so we're right on the edge of town. So if you walk out the back door of the facility, it looks like you're out in the country as opposed to actually being in town. So it's really nice where we are located, and our landscape. We have a lot of flowering trees, and just like I said, the landscape here in Southern Illinois is really beautiful.
Well, and to hear those components of it too, for maybe an individual that is watching this, maybe, or their loved ones are, to know that it's not just a gray room, and that
Right,
there's-
right. It's very peaceful. It's
Yeah.
very peaceful outside
And
whenever you walk out back.
And in your experience, Diana, how does that go into play? For the residents of the Fellowship House, that when you observe them, able to enjoy some of that, just the tranquility of being outside, and some of the benefit that comes with the other options you provide. Do you see their morale increase during those challenging times of recovery?
We absolutely do. It's our walking path in particular is used pretty frequently for, somebody that maybe struggles with anxiety or has, issues with panic attacks, or even depression. If we can get them outside and get them to, do some grounding exercises, get in touch with their senses. What are they hearing? What are they seeing? What are they feeling? It's a good distraction coping strategy for them to use whenever they are feeling anxious or overwhelmed about things. And, the thought of being in this life and no longer having something that you have depended on to numb feelings that are uncomfortable or avoid things, and then you get that taken away, it can be really overwhelming thinking about like, oh my gosh, I have to do this the rest of my life without that. How am I going to do that?
Yeah.
So when we get them out and we get them outdoors and get them, even playing volleyball or, just horseshoes or something like that that they haven't done maybe ever, and then they find that they can have fun. They can laugh and enjoy their peers whenever they're doing something like that. So just getting to expose them to those things that they've not done.
Well, and that's what I truly believe is so crucial because it to me, is when someone's going through that, you just hit it right on the head, and man, this is fine for 2 weeks, but how am I going to do this for 40, 30, 50 years? And to be able to have those different options is just really crucial. And Diana, I wanted to talk with you about how maybe your adult and youth outpatient services might differ in approach, because I know that everyone's different on their recovery
Sure.
journey, and we go through so many different avenues. But when it comes to just some simple, if there are any simple differences from how maybe we treat youth to how we treat adults, I always find that conversation fascinating.
Yeah. Well, we just recently restarted our outpatient services because of they lifting the COVID restrictions and everything. So we
Right.
were able to resume. We at Fellowship House really like to focus on in-person services. We do offer telehealth, so
Hmm.
we do kind of what we call hybrid approaches. Because the telehealth services definitely break down some barriers as far as transportation and daycare and things like that. But there is something to say about that in-person contact. Um, People like having a physical person to sit and talk to. And I think that making that connection, whether it be youth or adult,
Right.
is very helpful. But I do think that youth, especially, they're so used to technology and getting them kind of out of that comfort zone and actually making them or providing an opportunity for them to learn people skills,
Hmm.
to learn those communication skills and form a bond with a therapist is what's important. So we do provide a lot of education. Our outpatient program allows people to continue to go to school, to continue to work their jobs. We have a therapist on staff that is really good about trying to be flexible, with her schedule so she can accommodate other people's schedules. So um, I think that working with them and helping them utilize and learn healthy coping skills that they can actually use in the moment while they continue with their day-to-day lives is very important.
100%. And, getting back to just some of the core values of Centerstone, which we like to talk about, I wanted to ask you about the core philosophy behind the treatment methods that you guys use at the Fellowship House. Is there any values that you guys kind of share as a team when you're in, maybe a little bit of a team meeting or any build up to one? What is that philosophy for you all?
Our philosophy as a team is absolutely that everybody deserves an opportunity to change. Everybody deserves an opportunity to receive treatment and have a fair shot at a different type of life. We are all human, and we absolutely know and believe that addiction can happen to anybody. Like our
Right.
our campaign states, and everybody's one decision away from a different life, whether that's the path of addiction or the path of recovery. And so regardless of any type of background, belief, race, any of that stuff, we do believe that as long as we can safely manage somebody here, we believe they deserve a chance at being here and getting that we do the opportunity to make positive changes in their lives. And we try to do that through we provide individual counseling, we provide group therapy, we provide the education classes so that we can teach them excuse me, about the 12 steps. We teach them about different types of recovery. We talk about spirituality, but we also talk about the 12 steps in a secular manner. So we have different approaches for we try to make sure that the approaches that we take are person-centered, and we aren't by any means forcing anything. We just try to educate. And we tell people all the time, if it doesn't work for you, then move on and explore something else, but we like to educate on a lot of different things so that we can hopefully get you to connect with something that we do teach, and that way you can use that in your own personal recovery.
100%. And Diana, I don't like to ask for, putting you on a hard spot and saying, hey, give us some success stories. But I would like to talk with you about maybe some of the, conversations you have with an individual that might show up the first day. I can only imagine feeling defeated, unsure, kind of scared,
Yeah.
nervous. But take me through the follow-up to that after we're all through the weeds a little bit. I could only imagine the feel-good moments, almost the hair-rising moments, on your arm there a little
Mhm.
bit whenever you're having those conversations.
So as you're saying that, and I have people's names and faces
Yep.
popping into my head, I actually got goosebumps.
Yeah.
It is, we actually have the pleasure of having some staff members here that came through this program.
Wow.
Yeah. So to me, that alone speaks volumes to the fact that this actually does work. So getting the opportunity to have people have experience, have the experience of moving through this particular program and believing in it so wholeheartedly that they have now returned to be an employee here, is huge. We recently had a gentleman that came through our program call and ask if he could come and give his testimony to the group of gentlemen that are here now. So we had that happen just here recently. And he was very honest about the fact, that he had been here twice. First time he had his heels dug in, didn't want to do it. He was only here because he had to be. Second time something clicked, and he's been sober since. And so that was really, really amazing to see. We have other individuals that have gone on to work in other treatment centers, and so I know at my personal experience, I have a couple of, I used to be the outpatient counselor
Uh-huh.
in the past, and I have a couple of ladies that I had in my outpatient on my caseload that have now gone on to, they have formed a nonprofit organization themselves, and they have a Facebook page of over 2,000 members. And so it's
That's
really
incredible.
it's really awesome to see them doing community events, and I can actually be involved in the community events that they are now behind. So that's been a really neat experience for me to have seen that come full circle. I have a couple, I could go on and on. I have a couple of staff members here that I was involved with previously in another setting, and obviously another role, I guess, and now they're my employees. So that is really, for me, that's a personal, like, kind of a selfish win.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the I don't know, the feeling you get from seeing people, like I said, that full circle, and now they're giving back to the community. They're giving back to, other people that are suffering the way that they had suffered previously. And that's really a neat thing to be a part of.
It really is. And Diana, one thing I just heard too that's such a testament to Centerstone is, dug his heels in the first time, but the second time was ready to really tackle this.
Mhm.
And that shows that, right off the bat, it might not be the perfect, first step. It might be something
Right.
that things go wrong, but you at least know that Centerstone's going to be that constant partner for you. And if you're ready,
Right.
you're ready. And I think that's the biggest testament of the entire conversation. And
And I was going to say, unfortunately, people do come back.
Yeah.
Recovery is not, it's not a pretty picture all the time. People do relapse, but what we really strive for is that something, when they were here, struck a chord, so that they know if they ever do need us, they are more than welcome. We want them to come back. We want them to come and get the help that they need and not feel shame or embarrassment about it, because we do know that sometimes that is part of it.
Yeah, 100%. And Diana, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And my apologies for a later email to get you some questions
That's
back
okay.
to you. But the fact of the matter is, it's great to know that we have these resources around us, and that we can easily pick up the phone or go to recoverwithus.org and find all that wonderful information. But that leads me to my final point, Diana. If you're looking for a fresh start on the road to recovery, a life free from addiction is possible, and it starts with Diana and the team at Centerstone. Centerstone is a national leader in mental health and substance use disorder treatment for people of all ages with a commitment to delivering care that changes people's lives. Centerstone's dedicated clinicians, they use evidence-based practices in their treatment programs. There's so many unknowns on the road to recovery, but one thing you can know for sure is that Centerstone, Diana, the Fellowship House, and all of the components that make up this wonderful organization will be a constant guiding force for you on your recovery journey. Addiction can happen to anybody, but so can recovery. So start working towards your recovery today by visiting Centerstone online at recoverwithus.org. That's recoverwithus.org. Diana, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, and have a great rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you, too, CJ. I appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. 9:44 is the time here in downtown Alton. We'll take a quick break. Our daily show rolls around the corner, and we wrap up the 9 right after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trunked. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today. Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Damn straight, you're killing me, man. You know I've always been your biggest fan. Now I can't even listen, 'cause I'll get to missing her, then the hurt gets worse. Damn straight, I used to love your songs, but now every time that one comes on, my heart keeps broken half. But do I wish I could get her back? Damn straight.
Welcome back. 9:49. Oh, Diana's not on with us anymore. I don't know why I keep saying Deanna. I don't know if it's because I have so many Deannas. I don't know. I don't know. Here's what happened on. Let me just keep talking. On this date in history, in 1800, on April the 24th, the year was 1800, the Library of Congress was established. And I really like the Library of Congress. I think it's just, there's so many fascinating things in there. And then you hear all the Billy Joel songs, or some of those really important figures making sure their work submitted to it. I think that is just really, really cool. In 1980, on this date in history, the Iran hostage rescue mission, it ended in disaster. In 1953, in European history, Winston Churchill was knighted on this date in history. Well, for all of you 80s individuals, Gen Xers, baby boomers, you remember these two. In 1982, on April the 24th, Jane Fonda's first workout video is released. In 1967, Soviet cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov was killed when his parachute failed to deploy. In 1955, the Bandung Conference concludes during the Cold War portion of our history check. In 1863, the Union issues a conduct code for its soldiers during the Civil War, and all of that happened on this date in history. On this date in music, let's see. Papa Wemba, the king of rumba rock, died at the age of 66 during a show. The musician collapsed on stage on the Ivory Coast during the FEMUA Urban Music Festival. He was one of the most popular musicians of his time in Africa and played an important role in world music. On this date in 2007, Sheryl Crow said a ban on using too much toilet paper should be introduced to the environment. The singer suggested using only one square per restroom visit, except, of course, on those pesky occasions where 2 or 3 could be required. Crow made the comments on her website after touring the U.S. on a biodiesel-powered bus to raise awareness about climate change. Crow had also designed a clothing line in what she called a dining sleeve. The sleeve is detachable and can replace with another dining sleeve after the diner has used it to wipe his or her mouth. I'll pass on all 3 of those things. In 2004, Suge Knight, the founder of Death Row Records, was released from Mule Creek State Prison in California after serving 10 months for breaking his parole on a 1997 assault. Knight was sent back on August 4th back to prison for a second parole violation after he punched a parking attendant outside a Hollywood nightclub in 2003. In 2003 as well, the first official UK download chart was compiled after the Big 5 record companies EMI, Warner, Sony, BMG, and Universal combined for a digital download day. Over 150,000 computer users had downloaded 1.1 million tracks. The Net Parade Top 3, number 3 was Tattoo, All the Things, She Said. Number 2, Coldplay with Clocks, and Christina Aguilera with Beautiful. Was that before or after the Saturday Night Live performance? In 2003, on this date in history, Dixie Chicks launched a publicity campaign to explain their position after the very controversial statement regarding the Iraq War. During a primetime interview with TV personality Diane Sawyer, Natalie Main said she remained proud of her original statement. The band also appeared naked, with their private parts strategically covered on the current cover of the Entertainment Weekly magazine, with slogans such as Traitors, Saddam's Angels, Dixie, well, I can't say that word, Proud Americans, Hero, Free Speech, and Brave printed on their bodies. The slogans represented the labels that had been placed on them in the aftermath of her comments. In 1979, one of my favorite songs, Georgia on My Mind, was proclaimed the state song of Georgia. The music to the song was written in 1930 by Hoagie Carmichael, who also recorded a version of the song. Ray Charles, the Georgia native, recorded it in 1960 on the album The Genius Hits the Road. That was in 1979 when Ray Charles's Georgia on My Mind became the official state song. In 1976, Paul and Linda McCartney spent the evening with John Lennon at his New York, Dakota apartment and watched Saturday Night Live. TV producer of the show, Lorne Michaels, made an offer on air asking the Beatles to turn up and play 3 songs live. Lennon and McCartney thought about taking a cab to the studio, but decided they were too tired. Now, this date would mark the last time that John Lennon and Paul McCartney were ever together in person. In 1970, Elton John released his 4th single, Border Song, the first single from his 1970 album. Elton John, the appearance of the Border Song on the Canadian charts was Elton John's first chart appearance in any country and was John's first song to chart in the United States, peaking at number 2. In 1968, Louis Armstrong was at number 1 in the UK chart with the single Do, 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 do. What a Wonderful World. At the age of 69, it made Armstrong the oldest act ever to score a UK number 1. In 1965, Wayne Fontana and the Mindbenders went to number 1 on the U.S. single chart with The Game of Love. Number 2 hit in the UK. Wayne took his name from DJ Fontana, the drummer of Elvis. Eric Stewart, guitarist in the Mindbenders, went on to join Hot Legs and 10cc. As well. In 1961, Bob Dylan appeared on Harry Belafontaine's album, The Midnight Special, playing harmonica. Dylan was paid a session fee for this, his first ever recording. He was paid a session fee of $50. Now, this is actually one of my favorite songs, and so many people used to cover this one. In 1961, Del Shannon started a 4-week run at number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Runaway. Also a number 1 hit in the UK. Del was the first person to have a hit with a Beatles song in the U.S. with his version of From Me to You. In 1959, Buddy Holly was number 1 on the UK charts with the single It Doesn't Matter Anymore, a number 1, 6 weeks after his death. Let's take a look at birthdays. Born on this date in music, Kelly Clarkson. Wow. Born in 1982, 2002 U.S. number 1 single, A Moment Like This, winning the first season of American Idol, and her show is okay, I guess. Let's see. Who else? Patti Shamel, the American alt-rock band The Hole. The band has been noted for being one of the most commercially successful female-fronted rock bands of all time, born on this date in 1967. And... Okay. In 1945, born on this day, Doug Clifford, drummer with Creedence Clearwater Revival, who scored, of course, 1969 U.S. number 1 in UK, or U.S. number 2 and UK number 1, Bad Moon Risin', and the 1970 UK U.S. number 1 album, Cosmos Factory. The band sold 26 million albums in the United States alone, and that's what happened. Oh, wait, one final one. Barbra Streisand, born on this date in history. Born in 1942, and we all know about her accolades. The time is 9:58, but before I take a quick break, let me fill you in on Holmes Outdoor Services. Ethan Holmes is doing some really great stuff, and I love that old tried and true blue-collar, type of work that's kind of missing. It's almost like an Americana feeling, when you really get to experience it for yourself. Someone who answers his own phone, someone who's answering his phone while he's doing another job, saying, hey, let me give you a call back in an hour. And guess what he does? Calls you back in an hour. Unheard of. Ethan Holmes is doing such great work. And whether or not you need him for landscaping, hardscaping jobs, maybe you even need some lawn mowing services, they can tackle it all. He is also giving 15% off hardscape and landscaping jobs now until Memorial Day, so you better act quick by going to Holmes Outdoor Services Facebook page. Send him a message and start the conversation there. Ethan's done some great work for me, and I'll know he'll do even better work for all of you. His commitment to his clients is just top notch. But what I love is that hard work where you're seeing him at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night when the sun's going down. He turns a headlamp on and he stays working until the job gets done. Homes Outdoor Services for all of your landscape, hardscape needs. That's Homes Outdoor Services on Facebook. And once you message him, don't forget to tell him that CJ sent you his way. The time's 9:59 in downtown Alton. It's the 24th day of April. We'll take a quick break. In our daily show, it'll continue right after this with a brief top-of-the-hour newscast right here on RiverBender.com.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ. Top of the hour news, 10:04. Welcome back. Daily show hitting you on a Wednesday. We still got two great guests to get to. Make sure you sign up for your daily email update. Join the 70,000 people that get our Around the Riverbend email. And, of course, download the RiverBender.com app so you're always in the know right there at the touch, really, of your screen. Not even a button anymore. Where you can download the Riverbender app in the Google Store or the App Store today. We'll take you to top of the hour news now at 10:04. And we'll start off with an update on that multi-vehicle crash that did involve a school bus in Edwardsville. It left 2 injured. Illinois State Police Troop 8 responded to that multi-vehicle accident on Monday at around 3:01 p.m. The crash occurred at the intersection of Illinois Route 159 and Tranquility Ridge Road in Madison County. Involved in the collision were 2 passenger vehicles and a fully occupied school bus. Fortunately, no injuries were reported from the school bus. However, the driver and a passenger from one of the vehicles, a black Acura, sustained injuries and were taken to a local hospital. The occupants of the second vehicle, a white GMC, were unharmed. Further details are pending an investigation. Also in the news today out of Collinsville, Corey Nichols has been found and reunited with his family. The Collinsville police announced yesterday, April the 23rd, that 23-year-old Corey Nichols, previously reported missing since March the 16th, has been found safe and has reunited with his family. Nichols, who was last seen wearing a reflective coat, was located more than a month after those intensive searches. The local community and the Nichols family expressed their relief and gratitude towards the law enforcement agencies for their persistent efforts in ensuring his safe return. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance remain undisclosed at this time. Also in the news in Madison County, several criminal property damage cases have emerged throughout the county, impacting various properties, including vehicles, church doors, and even gaming machines. Rashawn D. Gaston Anderson, 25 years of age, faces 4 felony charges for damaging 4 vehicles. Tobias Morissette, 23, has been charged with damaging a church glass door and a truck, while Matthew A. Piper, 23, is accused of twice damaging a residence's window. Furthermore, Travis R. Griffith, 35, and Brian Irving, 36, are both facing charges related to damage at the Gateway Sand Plant and possession of burglary tools. Benjamin M. Harrison, 33, allegedly damaged a gaming machine, and we'll have more details as all these cases do keep emerging and all details do come to light. All individuals at this time are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Last bit of news for you today out of Alton. Alton Mayor David Goins and his wife Sheila expressed relief after a fire at their home on Judson Avenue. It was rapidly extinguished on April the 22nd. The fire, which began in the basement, caused some water pipes to melt and subsequently doused the flames before the arrival of fire services. Mayor Goins, who discovered the fire upon entering his home, described the experience as, quote, scary, end quote. Thankfully, the water from the broken pipe drained away, avoiding any flooding. Reflecting on the incident, Mayor Goins emphasized the fortunate outcomes, noting that it could have been significantly worse if the pipes had been metal. The time is 10:07. Let's take a quick check of your weather today. Right now it's 61 degrees. It feels like 70 out there. Today, mostly sunny, and tonight, partly cloudy and chilly. Temperatures will drop down to about 41 degrees overnight as we head into Thursday. On Thursday, we can experience partly cloudy skies, a high of 65, a low of 54. And then on Friday, a 97% chance of thunderstorms, a high of 72 degrees, a low of 65. On Saturday, no rain in the forecast, a high of 80, a low of 68. On Sunday, the 28th of April, a 92% chance of thunderstorms and a high of 77, a low of 62 degrees. Before we take a quick break and I send you to Skycam, let me fill you in on Denise Sparks Junk Removal and Hauling. They are the best, and I mean the best at what they do. And what do they do, CJ? That's a great question, listener or viewer. Here's exactly what they do. They care about the community. They care about their customers. They care about your phone calls. They aren't going to sit there, take your phone call like they do in the call center company and put you on hold, and then you don't hear back and they hang up on you and they don't call you back for 3 weeks. Denise Sparks and her team live local, they love local, and they love to help you help yourselves with that weekly trash service. And so many communities across the 618, those purple and yellow trash cans, they're mating. They're like bunny rabbits. They just keep popping up over and over again because you know that Denise Sparks is going to take care of you. And that's why you go on over to sparksjunkremoval.net. Whether or not you need her for trash service or you need her to get some of that junk out of your house, Sparks Junk Removal for 30 years has been the best, and for the next 30, they'll continue to do so. SparksJunkRemoval.net, that's SparksJunkRemoval.net, and reclaim your space today. 10:09, we'll come back right after this on Riverbender.
When I got in the car accident at the ER, they gave me a prescription of hydrocodone, and over time, it took more medication to mask the pain. I moved over to drug seeking and found heroin and fentanyl. I went to the Centerstone rehab facility, and it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I have my own car, I have a job, there's nothing holding me back anymore.
Dream Home Realty Center.
Hey, Sherry. Talk to me, Dream Team.
We've got Joey.
Yo, what up? It's Mike Keith, the proud graduate of Lewis and Clark Community College. I got my start in broadcasting and now I work all over the country. I discovered my path in media, but I could have been an electrician. Or I could have been a nurse.
Maybe not.
We are Phillips 66 Wood River Refinery. We make the fuels that take us to work and our children to school. We make materials and energy products that allow us to stay connected to each other. We care about the quality and safety of our products because we care about the communities we share. Our employees live our values of safety, honor, and a commitment to act as good neighbors where we live and operate. We are Phillips 66.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Welcome back, 10:11. I knew I'd botch something. 10:12, welcome back. Daily show hitting you here on a Wednesday, and I almost got Eric's name right. See, whenever I guess, I'm wrong. I should have asked. I never do that. Eric, how are we doing this morning, man?
I'm doing very well, CJ. Thanks.
Well, and fill me in on this, the Runnin Redbirds, huh? I got to ask, just because, you know, I think, especially after yesterday, folks are a little bit, you know, perturbed with the current state of the union.
Sure.
And maybe are just ready for a general manager or a president of a club to maybe go away, and maybe the manager too. But in the 80s, we had a lot to be excited about.
We sure did, yeah. That's right. I think it's good to look back at those more better times
Positive,
in our team's history at this point. Yeah, I was at the game last night, and it was not pretty.
No. I think at one point in time, even one of the other players just started crying for us. You know, they were like, "Man, I'm sorry." You know, Eric, fill me in. How did you get this idea to write about the Runnin Redbirds?
Yeah, well, I grew up watching Whitey ball in the 80s. Grew up here in Alton, a big Cardinal fan, and started doing some writing a few years ago for the Society for American Baseball Research, and wrote some articles about some of my favorite players growing up, and that kind of led me to really dig into the 1982 season and ultimately this book.
Really cool. Now, how long did it take to kind of formulate it and structure it? Because it's I'm sure pretty difficult, you know, to write something like this, because it's like, where do you start, you know?
Exactly, yeah. It took me about a year, and it covers basically when Whitey took over the team in 1980 through the last out of the World Series in 82. So there's a lot of ground to cover, dug into a lot of newspaper archives, interviewed some players, read some books, so basically any information I could find out about that season.
Now, when did he become the general manager of the team?
So he took over as manager in 1980, right. And then at the end of that season...
They made him general manager?
General manager. So he had, for a time, both roles of field manager and general manager.
Do you think that helped the team a little bit to know, to have the manager kind of on the pulse of it and going, here's the guys I want, not the front office?
For sure, yeah. And Whitey, he was a total visionary.
Yeah.
He built the team for the ballpark. It was this huge stadium with AstroTurf, and he basically got speed guys who could cover the ground and steal bases and totally revamped the roster.
Did you get a chance to talk with Whitey before the book came out?
I did, yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to interview him really early on, and he actually got to read the book.
That's cool.
Which was really cool.
Did he give his approval?
He did, yeah. Yeah, I got a call from him back in March, actually, and he said it was very accurate, and he really enjoyed reading it. So that was one of the better phone calls I've ever received in my life.
Man, that's awesome. Well, and talking about the team, because the folk, all of the folks that were around in the '80s to watch that and all the fun that came with it, they got to see that glimpse, on the field and got to see the result. But were there any intricacies in just kind of the days to day of the Cardinals in the '80s and just kind of how they operated without the public there, in practice, traveling, all those fun things?
Yeah, it was a different time for sure. So totally different style of baseball than what we see today. It was totally built on speed and defense. Their pitchers hardly struck out and had the lowest strikeout rate of any team in the league. Their offense hit the fewest amount of home runs of any team in the league. They only hit 67 home runs in 82. So
wow,
totally different time.
Who had most of the home runs in '82?
George Hendrick led the team with 19. Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, there was only one other player in double figures.
Really?
Yeah, Darryl Porter.
Wow. Well, and what I think's really cool about the '82 or just the '80s Cardinals in general, it's a real team. I mean, it's not just one guy kind of putting it on his back. It's not two starting pitchers carrying the season or a good bullpen. I mean, it was a complete village that made up this great dynasty almost.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah, they really didn't have any superstars. They had Ozzie, who's a Hall of Fame shortstop, but they didn't have any big mashers like some of the other teams out there, like Reggie Jackson. They didn't have a Reggie Jackson or a Mike Schmidt, no guys like that. And their pitching staff didn't have like a Steve Carlton or Nolan Ryan. They just had guys who threw strikes and kind of let their defense do the rest.
Now, did the guys like Whitey? Outside of the baseball game, was there a good morale with him and the players?
Totally, and I think that's part of what made him so successful. Is he was very good at communicating with his players. I talked to a couple guys that played on the bench that year, Mike Ramsey and Dane Orge, and they just had glowing things to say about Whitey and how well he communicated. He would always let them know, a couple days in advance when they were going to play. And then during games, he was always a few innings ahead of the other manager. He could see what was going to happen in the game and was prepared for it.
That's really cool. And when you're writing this, how how difficult was it? Because if you're a fan of the team, and you're writing this, I'm sure you're like, well, man, how am I not completely, subjective to this? How do I make sure it's not just my, highlights of the team? What were the difficulties of kind of navigating those waters?
Yeah, so everything I have in the book is based on fact. And I cite hundreds of newspaper articles and books and interviews. So none of it's really my opinion. It's just all, this is what happened in the season. This is how it happened. And this is what these guys had to say about it.
That's really cool. Well, and what I think is really fascinating about it, too, is there's so many folks that whether or not they're huge Cardinals fans or they're just kind of with St. Louis people, everyone connects to that team in that decade really with the Cardinals in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely, yeah. That era, I think people still look back so fondly on, and that was why it was so tough to lose Whitey. But a lot of what I do in the book too is I go into the backstories of some of the players and Whitey's story as well. So it's not just the on the field action, but it's who are these guys and where did they come from?
Well, and that's getting back to earlier. That's what I kind of meant, because that's what I find the most fascination with. Because it seems like these were just a group of really good guys, that just enjoyed playing, but also just enjoyed having fun a little bit too.
Exactly. Yeah. And I enjoy kind of telling the human interest story of the game.
What's the most fascinating story for you whenever you were kind of doing your research, putting this book together? Was there one that kind of just went, man, I've never heard of that before? Or are you even sure this is real? Am I being ribbed? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, I could go in so many directions with that. Joaquin Andujar, he was probably one of the more colorful characters on the team. Some of the quotes he had back in the day were just so off the wall, and he had grown up in poor conditions in the Dominican Republic, and his story is pretty fascinating. So kind of just digging into his background was really neat.
Well, and coming up this weekend on Saturday at Jacoby Art Center, we have a chance to come over and kind of meet you a little bit, learn more about the book. And what can folks expect over there at Jacoby Art Center? It starts at 11 a.m. It runs until 1 p.m., where we can kind of celebrate the launch of this book.
Yeah, so basically it'll just be me and a table of books, and looking forward to meeting some Cardinal fans and having some friends and family come out. And it's open to the public. I'll have books for sale for $25 each, and happy to sign them and talk some baseball. And I have a second book too, which just came out as well. So both books will be for sale.
Really cool. And with that being said, how why did you get the name White Rat? Was that before the Cardinals?
Yeah, this is
Was
actually,
it really?
Yeah, it dated back to when he was a player in the minor leagues, actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned, because I'm like, did we give him that? Like, how did that? Because he really, I mean, I don't know. I didn't live, in the 80s, but it seems like he was kind of, I mean, he got in your face a little bit, but he was a pretty kind of mild-mannered guy compared to some of the, the New York manager back in the day, and the Billy Martins of the world and the Earl Weavers, you know?
Compared to those guys, he was pretty mellow, but yeah, Whitey could certainly be outspoken when the time called for it.
Now, when did the Gary Carter flip-off happen? Was that
Gary Templeton?
Gary Templeton, sorry. When was that?
That happened in 81.
So is that covered in the book a little bit?
It is, yeah, absolutely. Because that ultimately, is what part of led to Templeton being traded for Ozzie Smith, who, of course, was a key member of the 82 team. So that's all covered in the book as well.
Man, I wish I could have been there that day. That's going back in my sports time machine to be there to see Whitey Herzog pulling somebody off the field. That would have been wonderful. Who was the most fascinating interview for you when you're getting this book put together?
Definitely Whitey.
Was it?
Yeah, just being able to talk to him, and this was a couple of years ago when I spoke to him, and he was like a razor sharp. He was still at that time, watched every game, and he could recall things that happened back in the 80s as if it was yesterday. So that was really cool. And then Dane Orge, one of the heroes of the 82 World Series, got to talk to him. So just like hearing his thoughts of Game 7 and winning it all, that was really cool too.
So I think Bruce Sutter owes all of us an apology too, because for my generation anyway. Because when you see the highlight, it seems like this guy's throwing gas at 98 miles an hour. Now, that was a rarity for a high fastball, wasn't it, for Sutter a little bit?
It was, yeah. I think I heard Ozzie being quoted as saying like Bruce's fastball topped out in like the high 80s. He more relied on his split-fingered fastball, which had this sort of sinking movement, rather than just a straight fastball.
That's interesting. Every time I watch it, because I remember having a conversation when I was in the St. Louis station about some of the guys, and I'm like, man, he couldn't throw for anything.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Because when you're a kid, you see the highlight, you think this guy's just their flamethrower out there.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, and I wanted to talk with you a little bit about Season of Shattered Dreams. This is fascinating. I didn't know too much about this. Now, it's a true story of a minor league baseball team in a tragic bus accident. Fill me in on this.
Yeah, so this is a story I had never heard about either until a few years ago. I live out in Washington State now and heard about this story. And basically it was the 1946 Spokane Indians minor league team was traveling west across the state for their next series in Bremerton near Seattle. And the team's bus crashed in the mountains, killed 9 players, injured 6 others. To this day, it's still the deadliest tragedy in the history of American professional sports. And a lot of people don't know the story. And the players involved, they had this fascinating backgrounds. A lot of them had just fought in World War II.
Yeah.
Some of the survivors went on to have careers in baseball, including one guy who managed Hank Aaron in the minor leagues.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah, so lots of connections and in the book, and looking forward to bringing this story to light.
That is, and I think that's going to be one that's really fascinating for me to try to get my hands on a copy of, because I like to learn about things I don't know about too. And is there a way for folks? I know you have a website, or is your book available on the website, or do they have to go to Jacoby Arts on Saturday to purchase?
So you can find the book anywhere. You can buy books online, such as Amazon. My publisher is Roman, ROWMAN.com. And then, of course, I'll have books at the signing on Saturday.
Now, I got to ask you, what's the future looking like for you in writing? Because it seems like you aren't slowing down anytime soon here, Eric.
Well, yeah, I wrote 2 books in 2 years, and now both of them have come out within a matter of months apart. I haven't decided on a 3rd book yet, just kind of soaking in the process of having these 2 releases and enjoying all that comes along with that. But I'm sure I'll write a 3rd one at some point, probably revolving around baseball.
Now, have you had any cool conversations about this yet? You know, someone just reaching out going, man, I just saw that this book's coming out. I'm excited. Have those happened yet?
I have, yeah. Some, including like family members of some of the people who were involved in this incident from nearly 80 years ago. I had a signing in Spokane, Washington a few days ago, and a guy who was 91 years old came out, who was actually at some of these games in 1946 and remembered some of these players. So this, like, talking to somebody like that.
That's living history. I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. Now, did he say it was pretty accurate? Did he like it?
So he actually came and picked up a copy of the book.
We got to wait feedback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Now, are you going to look to stay more in the sports world, or are you ever looking to maybe do something in a a nonfiction or a fiction side of things, or more of a novel piece?
Yeah, definitely nonfiction's more my cup of tea. But I would certainly be interested in a good non-sports story if I came across one that I thought needed to be told. I'm big into music too, so maybe something like that.
One final question for you on this book: did Keith Hernandez's mustache was it just as bad as it was as it is today? Was it always that rough?
I'm pretty sure he's had the same mustache from his Cardinal days through Seinfeld and today. So, yeah.
That's great. Well, and that's why I to talk to you about this, because there's so many different takeaways that the reader's going to have, because there's I'm sure so many folks are going to start reading it and not necessarily reading it and remembering the players and go, oh yeah, that did happen, but going, man, I remember when I was sitting next to Grandpa watching or listening to Joe Buck or Jack Buck, talk about the game. Julie's gonna yell at me. Talk about the game, or broadcast the game, and then some of those feel good things, those nostalgia pieces, and I think that's what's really cool about this book.
Yeah, I think baseball for Cardinals fans is so important. It has those, family and friend connections. We can all kind of look back and think of those days where we were maybe, in my case, sitting on my grandpa's patio listening to Jack and Mike call the games, or going to games back in the 80s with my parents or friends. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it for me, is just the nostalgia and reliving those sort of glory days of not only baseball, but those good memories.
One final one for you, sorry. What's your favorite moment of the Runnin Redbirds? Not the book, but the entire team. Is there one moment that you go, man, this is what sold me?
Wow. My favorite player from that era is Willie McGee. And his performance in Game 3 of that World Series was just incredible. Willie was a rookie that year. He was not even on the roster when the season opened, and he had one of the best games of any player in World Series history. He robbed a home run, hit 2 home runs that day, and that really turned the series. That was in Milwaukee when the series was tied 1-1. So that one kind of stands out to me as one of my favorite moments of that season.
Really cool. Well, folks, you can go hang out with Eric this Saturday at Jacoby Arts Center from 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. right over here on Broadway, where you can pick up a copy of the Runnin Redbirds or the other book, which is just slipping my mind, the Season of Shattered Dreams. Sorry, it keeps flashing back and forth, so I was going from Runnin Redbirds and seeing all the details, but the Season of Shattered Dreams, which I will be getting my hands on a copy eventually, about the tragic bus crash involving the Spokane Indians. All of this is on the pipeline for Saturday. You can stop by, ask Eric some questions, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions anyone has about the books and my research process and all that.
That's great. And you can also get more information on, learning about the author, maybe getting a signed copy, maybe going online and sharing some of his work with more of the public and making sure we all know about everything. And Eric, it's been fun talking with you for about 20 minutes. I hope it all goes well, and we'll see you Saturday.
Thanks, CJ. We appreciate it.
10:28's the time, a little bit of change. We'll take a quick break here, and Steve Pegram, Got Faith. We are joined by him right after this.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville.
I just got a new air conditioner. Top of the line.
I bet mine's better. It's so efficient and quiet, I hardly know it's running.
I've got you both trumped. I've got a Linux.
So do I.
Barrett Heating and Cooling carries Linux products to meet any budget. Don't gamble with your energy dollars. Call Barrett Heating and Cooling and start saving today.
Lennox. Innovation never felt so good.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
Welcome to Evergreen Place, a community that embodies joyful living, independence, and financial freedom for seniors. If you're looking for a full day of activities or to relax in your apartment, we have you covered. Located on the Alton Memorial Campus. To know us is to love us. Experience the difference at Evergreen Place.
Life's better when you're under our roof. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto and home coverage at the right price. Also, you can enjoy the dreams you've worked so hard to achieve. American Family Insurance.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
In the heart-pounding moments of the game, every move counts, just like in chiropractic care. Dr. Andrew Dykman of Rosewood Chiropractic champions this belief, supporting our teams in every drive and supporting his patients for nearly 20 years, offering affordable, compassionate, all-natural wellness care. Call 618-259-2676 or visit rosewoodchiropractic.com today.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. You can see me turning. Give me one reason to steer.
Welcome back.
And I'll turn
Got
right
Faith,
back
Steve Pegram in studio. How are we doing, Steve?
Wonderful, wonderful.
You know, I always love chatting it up with you. This is a pretty big week coming up for you.
Yes, it is.
It starts May 1st,
May
correct?
1st, yes, next Wednesday.
And it runs until?
May 5th.
There you go. And this is Got Faith Week, correct?
Yeah, proclaimed by the city and the county as Got Faith. And I sent you one of the
You did.
The things, and it says 2017. and the city was 2016. So
That's
it's been proclaimed for quite a while.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's got to feel good to not be recognized just by one entity, but by the entire county, too.
Yes, it's awesome. It is awesome.
And fill me in on the details of what Got Faith Week is all about.
Well, what it is you've got to wear a Got Faith T-shirt to any one of close to 90 businesses.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Isn't that unbelievable? And you just walk into one of these businesses during that time with your Got Faith T-shirt on, and you get whatever they say. You know, a discount, something free. There's a new ice cream place in Grafton, free small cones if you wear a T-shirt.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and what's that mean for you to know that 90 folks are really ready to either give something away or give a discount and just celebrate Got Faith?
Yeah, it just shows me it's growing. Now, there's one thing that a lot of people I think they get mistaken about it. The whole idea of this whole thing was at the end of it, the Sunday at the end of it, when you go to church, the money that you saved on going to all these businesses, you put the money in your church basket, whatever church you go to.
That's really cool.
That's the whole idea, is to build the, first of all, help the businesses, because the businesses, everybody's always going to these businesses and asking for donations. Hey, can you do this? Hey, the school's doing this. My daughters, when they went to school, every week they would come home. Hey, we got to sell pizzas this week, candles this week, and it just went on and on. And this is a way to give it back to the businesses. We've got a half-page ad run tomorrow. We're on the radio today.
Yeah.
I'm going up to RiverBender upstairs and, just pushing it. Actually, May 1st, at 6:30 in the morning, Timmy Zell will be at Got Faith Building.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he's going to do Tim's Travels.
Really cool.
So I don't know how he's going to work it, if he's going to put a T-shirt on and run around town or what, or if just in our building, we've got so much going on there. We've got Martha's Closet, and at Martha's Closet that day, starting at 7 in the morning, everything in there is going to be $1. $1, everything.
That's it?
Unbelievable.
Well, it really is, Stephen. I mean, I'm looking at this picture you sent me now, just of all these great businesses. I mean, I don't even know if I have enough time to even go through all of them because of how many there are. But what I do know is this. It's a great mission for this. Because the idea is, it's great. The cool side of it is you get some items, you get some discounts. But the purpose of it is what I think is amazing, where it gives you a week to kind of build up a little bit more of something to give a little bit more to your church that Sunday, Saturday, whenever you go.
Yeah, true.
And take me through how things have been just before we go into the week, just overall from the last year, Got Faith, because I've been following along, and you have been moving and moving.
We're going everything, and it's all God. I just have to give God all the glory, everything going on there. We've got the Martha's Closet there. And this is going to all be happening Wednesday, May 1st, when Timmy's there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's just going to walk around in our building, because we've got Martha's Closet. We're doing free haircuts. You got to wear your T-shirts, guys, though. We're doing a free breakfast at 7 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
You got to wear your T-shirt,
And
though.
what are we having?
Pancakes, sausage. I'm not sure about potatoes, but pancakes, sausage.
Pancakes and sausage is all you need to go through the day.
Yeah. And then we've got a Kremunchkin room, and the Kremunchkins are older people that come in on Thursday mornings for free coffee and free donuts.
That's really cool.
But they're going to be there Wednesday to say hi to Tim.
Well, and before we get to that, I saw the picture you just sent me. Can we promote this first?
Yes,
this happens tomorrow. OSF On Call Connect on the Go is going to be visiting the Got Faith building.
Yes.
This is great. Now, what are we going to be able to experience up there? Do you have a little bit of background?
They're just coming in, and they're going to let people. And the funny thing is, we set this up because Thursdays is our food pantry day,
right?
And our food pantry's open, so all these people, and we usually get 100 people a month, so 25 a week or so.
That's still quite a bit.
Yeah. And those people can go and get on the bus, the new bus or whatever it is, new van. And, get yourselves checked out for free.
Well, and it's needed. I'm just sitting here and, looking through this, whether it's health screenings, healthcare navigation, technology assistance.
Right.
That's, I say that, a year ago, Steve, only time I've ever felt bad on this show because I was talking about to a medical provider and they said technology assistance, and I chuckled. And then someone texted me a very nasty note that said, some choice words, be honest with you, but because I chuckled at it because there's so many people that don't know how to use their technology.
That's
and
true.
I 100% agree with that texter.
Yes.
I even texted him back and said, you're right. You're right about this.
That's very true.
And just to have those resources, though, but the more important piece to this is that Got Faith is becoming an incubator.
Yeah.
A true incubator of services that need to be provided.
Amen.
I love you, Steve. This is great.
That's
and now,
awesome.
as we're going down the list, starting on May 1st, what should we do for the public? What should we do? What should the public do on May 1st? Should we be at the Got Faith building?
Yes. Free breakfast. Come, let's get it on the news. Why not? And I don't know if... the other thing, I brought you a T-shirt.
I hung it up. I wanted them to see this.
But do you see the red ribbon?
Yes.
The T. Do you understand what that is?
No, sir.
The red ribbon is drug awareness, and I've lost 2 children to drugs.
Oh, no.
So that's kind of what the T-shirt, to me, it's got
there's some
special
meaning
thing
behind
there.
it.
And then if our legal name is Got Faith, feed and inspire the hungry. But if you see FAITH, faith. A lot of people don't know that. Isn't that cool?
I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that. Well, and that's why I wanted to hang it up because now these are on sale at Walmart, correct, in Jerseyville?
Walmart, Nature Kest, the our building. Where is it? Lynn Shoe Store, and Second Time Around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going all over the place.
And get some of these because I'm telling you what, it's number one, you're supporting Got Faith.
Yes.
Number two, you're being a part of a literally community-wide event.
Right.
And it's and the third thing is, too, when you have your Got Faith shirt, there's something about that snow globe effect.
Yeah.
At first you might be the only one in a Got Faith shirt, but all of a sudden you keep wearing it, someone's going to ask you about it.
Yeah.
They get one. And because they know the meaning of the shirt, they know the meaning behind it, of the organization, and then all of a sudden, hell, all Jerseyville's got Faith shirts on,
Isn't that cool? Yeah, I've been into places before, and people will just come up to me and say, I do. And it's like, you do what? I do have Got Faith.
Yeah.
So it starts a conversation.
It really does.
And the red ribbon starts a conversation too. It's why is that? What is that about? But and it goes into, and we minister to people who have lost their children. Yeah. We've got a 12-step for women there, women only.
Yeah, I remember promoting that.
Stepsisters, and they're going to be there tomorrow. And Pathfinders are for men.
Yep.
Men only. So they're going to be there too. Free haircuts. I mean, you can just walk around the building.
And then going back to Martha's Closet,
yes.
$1?
Everything's $1. Unbelievable. And even we've got prom dresses, and everything there today yesterday was everything was $2 except for prom dresses were $5. And they were $200 and $300 brand new.
Exactly.
And we're going to give them away for $1 tomorrow.
Well, and
so yeah.
What I think's really cool about how you guys do this is the fact that that you said it on the show before, and it really stuck with me. Is that you might be a 9-to-5 worker with a career job, but life happens, and sometimes you get hit with bills and taxes, and you can't afford a prom dress for your daughter.
It's unbelievable.
At least you got a place to go, regardless of your situation.
Right.
That's and for the high school girls to know.
Yeah.
If something happens, at least I can try to find something that Got Faith and see if I can alter it, and that works.
I was there last Saturday. I normally don't do Martha's Close. I've been doing it lately on Saturdays. But I was there last Saturday, and there was so many high school kids in there. Unbelievable. Coming in to get the prom dresses, checking on prom dresses. And I've never seen that before. It's usually usually like yard sale people and that type of thing. But, it's not. I think some people think it's for poor people, and it's not.
Right.
It's for anybody, and 80% of our clothing comes from Walmart, Arcados.
Yeah.
So
and that's whenever you said that the last time, because I've always said, I think it's great that we have programs for the folks that really don't have anything. They need that help, but I've always thought, like you did, we all go through hurdles, and you never know.
Isn't that the truth? Oh boy, oh boy. So it's like and it's growing, and people are just starting to realize, and that money. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it helps pay for our electric. helps pay for our electric. It
Yeah.
doesn't pay the electric.
Oh, I couldn't
but
imagine.
it, and our insurance and just all the things that people don't even know about that, we've got to pay. But it helps.
And how has been the stay over at your new location? Because that's a beautiful facility. I mean, it's got some work to do, but I mean, just the look of it. Because I know that whenever you moved into it,
right?
And is that 504 Pine?
508.
508
West Pine.
I always get it. I'm always off by a little minute detail.
That's all right. Yeah, it used to be an old hospital.
Yeah.
And then somebody took it over and turned it into assisted living, and it was empty for 9 years.
Yeah.
And when we went in there, and we actually just prayed about that building for years.
Yeah.
We just prayed about it, and it was for sale. And they called me one day and asked me if I wanted it, and I said, yeah, we want it, but we can't afford it. And they said, no, we want to give it to you. And the thing of it is, there's so many non-for-profits out there that do just as good as us or even better. But it's got it work, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And they just gave us that building. And it was, when I first walked in there, it was just 9 years closed. It was mildewy, kind of a moldy smell. And FEMA, we've got some friends at FEMA, gave us a fogger and gave us the gallons. They were $90 a gallon to just go. And we went through every room in there. And it kills black mold. It's the stuff they use on floods.
Yeah.
That the houses, they get flooded. And they go in and fog these, and they even said it'll kill black mold. So
that's incredible, and it really. But that's what I think. Just hearing that is really just it's got to work,
yes,
man.
It is.
I mean, that's all it is.
No doubt about it. It's just everybody just pitches in, and the thing of it is, we don't go around, knocking on doors or selling pizzas or selling candles. We don't even ask for money. We don't.
No.
It just comes.
And that's what I love about what you guys do too, because I never see you put out a Facebook post that says, "Hey guys, we're hurting. We need this tomorrow."
Right.
It's you keep going, and you know that eventually you're gonna have your faith's gonna lead you to the right places.
Amen. Yeah.
Well,
May 4th. Before I forget it, May 4th, and May the 4th be with you, of course.
Absolutely.
I will be at front of Walmart, and we do it every year, and we just give out free hot dogs is all we do, and sell T-shirts. By the way, the T-shirts are $10. Where can you go to get a T-shirt for $10? You can't anywhere,
Good luck.
honestly.
Yeah.
So we're not making a bunch of money. We're just, we're just trying to help people out. And but anyway, I'll be at Walmart the 4th. And Gene Newberry and his family's going to be in Grafton. Grafton's got something going on on the 4th.
Yeah.
Some kind of a reading thing.
Oh, yeah, reading in the
for
park.
Kids
Reading
something
in
like
the park,
that.
yep, with Channel 4. They're gonna be down
what we got is our booth, because they called us up and asked us, hey, you want to come? It's like, well, I'm going to be at Walmart, but I'll find somebody. And Gene's going to go down there, and we've got a quilt. Somebody gave us a quilt. Well, actually, they gave us 4 quilts. Wow. And instead of trying to sell them or try to make money, we're going to give out tickets. You come to our booth down there in Grafton, and he's going to give you tickets. And then at the end of the day, he'll just pick somebody, win a nice quilt. So, but we could sell the tickets for $1 or whatever, and that's just us.
That's why I like it. I really do, because there are not any, here, buy 5 to get 2, and then maybe you win. It's community.
Yes.
It's really what it is.
Yes.
And now, during Got Faith Week, Steve, what is the big takeaway from it? Well, where's the place people can look to find all the locations? Because, guys, seriously, I was going to read through all of them, but we would have been here until next Tuesday to go through all 90. What's the best way to find that, though?
Actually, it's going to be in the paper tomorrow. Jerseyville paper journal.
Yeah, the journal.
And I think it's going to be in Calhoun, Greene. I think there was 4 locations. It's a half-page ad we put in there, which we paid for.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Actually, we filled out a grant for the city, and it was for advertisement money. And the city gave us money. I think it was $2,500 for this. For we got a 500 men breakfast coming the 5th of August. Timmy Zell's already been approved. Going to be preaching in front of Walmart.
That's awesome.
And to be preaching in front of Walmart, that's got it work. And to be selling T-shirts inside Walmart,
Yeah. It's huge.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
Really is. And that's what I think, going forward, whether or not you find it on the Got Faith Facebook page or you see it in the paper or wherever you find it, just go and take a check. You know, take a look and see what Steven and the entire team's working on, because there's a lot of really great things happening that you don't beg the press for. You know,
We don't.
You just do it.
Yeah.
That's why I love it, man.
Right. And we're actually I just came back from Florida 2 weeks ago. There were some people in our building, it was a couple months ago, about 3 months ago, and they were just volunteering, and they were from Florida. And they said, we just love this place. It's awesome. But did you know there's a hospital in Florida? It's been shut down for 5 years. Might want to check it out. We went to Florida. They let us in. And, I mean, we actually went to a church, and somebody said, well, they're not going to let you in that building. And the city let us in there to take a tour. Now, the building's been shut down for 5 years. The people that owned it, there was some problems, Medicare fraud, whatever.
No.
So...
At least they were working.
Right. But anyway, they owed people a bunch of money from this hospital, and the city let people go in there to kind of recoup money. Well, the copper and just went through drawers, and it's just a mess. I mean, it's really bad. And the city actually sent me pictures first, and then when I went down there and walked in there, it was pretty bad. It wasn't smelly or no mold or nothing. It was just trashy, very trashy. And I had to go in front of the city and talk to them at a city council meeting, and I just let them know that I've got 38 years of sobriety, and if you would have saw me 40 years ago, my life was worse than the inside of that building. And if God can change my life, he can change the inside of that building. So we're kind of... I did talk to him last week, talking over, I think it was $1.4 million back taxes.
Oh, God.
And seeing if they'll forgive it. So, and here's what it is. It's God at work. If he wants us to have that building, he'll let us have it. And it's got a helicopter pad and all kinds of cool stuff.
Well, I know where I can go to Florida.
Right, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens with that. But regardless of if you guys have time to go out this week, or not this week, but May 1st through May 4th for Got Faith Week, and go out and patronize these businesses and really use that as a way for you to save up a little bit more for your offer this week for that following week at your church services. But seriously, go in and just take a tour of Steve's Facebook page, the website of Got Faith, and learn about what they do. And, we never are out here to give calls to action for fundraising and anything, but if you can't make it to Got Faith Week and want to celebrate or support this, reach out to Got Faith and see if you can make an in-kind donation. Maybe donate services. Do something to be a part of the growing community that's Got Faith.
We've actually got 15 people from a church coming in Sunday to help clean and do stuff, whatever we want to do.
Incredible.
Yeah. And we actually, the Marquette High School, they've been there, and they sent like 50 kids there all at one time.
That's really cool. Marquette's doing some good stuff.
Yeah, they are. It's unbelievable. They've actually been there 3 times. So, doing a lot. They cleaned out our basement. We're through 3 dumpsters. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they just had a team of guys just carrying it upstairs and putting it in a dumpster. So, there's so much going on there. It's just unbelievable.
That's incredible. And also, too, coming up tomorrow is that on-the-go OSF van, that on-call.
Yes.
Really a great opportunity for folks that don't normally get that opportunity to have their health assessed. It's the best way to do it. And I'm kind of dealing with, something a little similar if you're not in that homeless situation or if you're not in that really tight situation, but maybe you're just busy all the time and it's hard you're trying to raise a family and, do work and you don't take care of yourself. Tomorrow's a great chance to stop up.
It is.
And take a look.
Yes.
And Steve, what else am I forgetting about Got Faith? Did we talk about the breakfast?
We did. Actually, the second Tuesday of every month we have a free lunch.
That's it.
Free lunch, and we got a car show coming up August 10th, and I'm Santa's cousin. You know that.
Yes.
Well, he's already lined up for December.
It's over?
Just about. Just about. Yeah.
Well,
unbelievable.
I met another one of Santa's cousins in Grafton at Raging Rivers who said he knew you too. You guys must all be related.
Yeah. Oh, we all look alike, right?
It was a good conversation, but it's good to know that everything's good on that front.
Yeah.
But please, if you have the chance, pick up one of these T-shirts. I had it hanging on the wall so we all could see it. at Walmart, at Cato, or at Got Faith Building itself, and Secondhand Treasures.
Yes, Nature Kist, Lynn's Shoe Store. I don't know if you ever met Lynn.
I have not.
Not Lynn, but the guy who owns it.
Yeah.
It's just awesome guy. Awesome. So
That's really cool.
Yeah, and just so much going on. And come and see me at Walmart Saturday. We do this every year, and it seems like we put a basket out there for if somebody wants to donate.
Yeah,
they can. We've got some awesome like last year? Yeah, somebody threw a check in there for $1,000.
That's incredible.
Got Faith, $1,000. It's like, who did it? I don't know. You
Well,
know, I mean, I do know, but you know what? I could. It's unbelievable. I mean, that's between them and God, and I don't want to be saying their names or anything. And then 3 years ago, we were out front, and a guy come up and said, "How are you, Steve? With Got Faith?" Yeah. He said, "Would you guys?" Would you guys like some property? I said, "Well, yeah." Anyway, he gave us like an acre of ground in Jerseyville. Just gave it to us.
That's incredible.
And that's where we've been. Before we got our building was where we were keeping our trailers and all that. We do have trailers, and we let people borrow them. We've got 300 chairs and 50 tables, and God's given them to us, and we let people use them.
Steve, I just love all you do.
Yeah,
I really do. And if for more information, please check out the Got Faith website or the journal, wherever this information is. We got to end the show a couple minutes early today because normally when I'd say goodbye to Steve, I'd come back and wrap it up with you. We have really something fun happening. The Alton Middle School podcasting group is going to be joining us. They're right outside waiting to come in. We're going to talk a little bit about, the podcasting stuff that I do, but also the live show that I do because it's live but turns into a podcast afterwards.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to go through all the gamut on that. And then we'll talk to them tomorrow on the show. They're going to be doing some interviews and having some fun. So I'm going to go ahead and boogie. Steve Pegram, Got Faith Week, May 1st through May 4th. We'll have a write-up on Riverbender with more details. But we're out of time, so I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy it. On that note, enjoy your families, enjoy this nice weather, and try your very best, as always, to stay out of jail.
One way ticket back.